Good morning. My name is Woodson Witt, and I'm a certified health coach with Optavia. I'm also a certified personal trainer. And this morning, what I'm going to do is talk to you a little bit, fairly quickly, about fitness in the home, being fit without the gym, or in using some exercises that you can do while you're on vacation, or while you're traveling for business. Things you can do in a hotel room or in the comfort of your own home, and things you can do quickly. But the first thing I want to make sure that I do is talk to you about the importance of an intelligent nutrition plan. I know there's a lot of folks that get into exercise and they're looking to lose weight and they're hoping that they can work the weight off, but there's no real amount of work that you can do to become as fit or as trim or to lose as much weight as you want to without that nutrition plan. And so I'm talking to you today in my gym, but there's all these things that we're going to talk about you can do from the comfort of your own home. But again, just remember that without an intelligent nutrition plan, really exercise, you can get cardiovascularly in shape and you can get stronger. But if you're looking to lose weight with exercise or through exercise, the best way to do that, and really the only safe way to do that, is with an intelligent nutrition plan first, and then use a healthy exercise regimen to balance that out, and you'll get the results that you're looking for. But always start with a good foundation of a nutrition plan. So now that we've discussed that, the other thing I want to talk about is the importance of with any exercise plan, is the importance of stretching. Now, I can't go into a lot of details on stretching and go through a ton of stretches with you, but the importance of stretching your muscles out before exercise and creating mobility within your shoulders and your elbows and your knees, so your joint areas, is very important, because it actually not only does it help you exercise better, you'll feel better. Your muscles, as you break them down, they tighten up. You need to, in your tendons and ligaments, you need to stretch them back out. But also, it prevents injury as you get older, and helps with arthritis and so many other things. So stretching, mobilizing, make sure that you spend time doing that. I tell my clients oftentimes that mobilization and stretching and flexibility is every bit as important as the actual exercising itself. So a couple things that I can show you that will help you with some flexibility and mobility, or we know the basic hamstring stretches and things like that, but the two things I want to show you are what we call a cross crawl and an inchworm. So an inchworm, you come, feet shoulder width apart, and you come down, a slight bend in the knees, and you want to make sure, the idea and the objective eventually is to be able to put your hands flat on the floor. But coming down and being able to touch your ankles and, stretching for 5 seconds or so, coming back up, taking a breath, shaking it out, and coming back down even more. Maybe you can touch your toes, or maybe you can't put your hands flat on the floor, okay? Put your hands flat on the floor for 5 seconds, come back up, shake things out. We want to make sure that we're never pushing too hard, or we're never bouncing or forcing ourselves while we're stretching, because that will cause injury. Stretching, flexibility, exercise, cardiovascular, all that comes in time. So the other important thing, I guess, when we're talking about exercise is being patient with yourself and giving yourself some grace, because this is a journey, and the joy is in the journey, and not the end destination. So what we want to make sure we eventually want to do is be able to put our hands on the floor flat with a slight bend in our knee. Now, if you have to come down here and bend down to do that, that's okay. You'll get to where you can almost have your legs straight and come down, put your hands on the floor, but then walk yourself out, okay? You want to walk yourself out, and then when you get into that plank position or that push-up position, go ahead and come down, and then push yourself back up into, a cobra or a down dog position, and you want to stretch out your neck, look up the ceiling, and then come into what we call a pike position. So you bring yourself up into this position to where your head is between your shoulder blades, and then you try to put your heels on the floor. So I'm trying to put my heels on the floor. I'll bring one leg up, try to put that heel on the floor, stretching my calf, hamstring, and then after I do that, I walk my hands, or my feet, sorry, rather, back to my hands, and I come up, okay? I want to do that 3 to 5 times. You can also do that in succession, and that can actually create, part of a high intensity interval workout. You can use that as part of that workout. You can also come into what we call a cross crawl, which is a deep lunge position, always keeping my knee behind my toe and trying to put my elbow on the floor. And when I get into that position for about 5 seconds, and then I crawl back up forward. I crawl forward and I get put myself into my next lunge and kind of try to come down, put my elbow on the floor. That stretches much of your lower body. You can also use that obviously in a high intensity workout because that's part of what they would call a mountain climber. So when you are stretched out and you get into a workout or you need an exercise, mountain climbers are a great thing to do in a high intensity workout. And so we'll add those here in just a second. The other thing is a deep squat. So if I want to come into a deep squat, and that mobilizes my knees and my ankles, also stretches out my lower body. I want to come down, chest up, knees out. I want to be sitting in my heels, and I want to be pushing my knees out with my elbows, and just come into this squat, and then come down and bend into each knee. Flex into your knees and your ankles. Hold that for about 5 seconds. Come back up, and obviously deep squats are important, and stretching your body out before you start exercising. So, but I am going to show you a few things to do while you're in the hotel. Core exercises are very important. So you want to build that core, just like you want to have a great nutrition plan. Core is your foundation. I always start with the core with my clients, and you build out with the core. So a couple things that you can do, and you can put these things together to make a great workout. You want to try to work out for, I don't know, anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes if you can, but 10 minutes is great. High intensity interval type workouts are great, but mix them up with don't forget the importance of going on a slow jog or a walk. Those things are also very much important in a healthy, balanced nutrition or exercise regimen. So the first thing I want to talk about is, this is called a hip halo. You can do these exercises with this or without. It's just a band that crossover symmetry sells. I love crossover symmetry. I'm not a spokesperson for them, but I use these with my clients oftentimes. And so using a band to actually give yourself some resistance. And so I want to be able to keep, and I always want to be pushing pressure on this band. So what I'd like to do is come down into a squat. So just an air squat is what we call this. So air squat into the band. You take and you do air squats, and when you do air squats, obviously you're coming down, your knees are out, you're coming down just below parallel for 1, chest up as high as you can, you're sitting back more in your heels on the outside of your feet and up. Okay, so that's an air squat. Coming down into a ready position, or your power position is what I call it, and sides, and just sidestepping, nice and controlled in your sidestep. Using a band, getting in your power position and stepping back into your position, and then tapping your foot on the other foot and stepping back is that is another thing that you build when you're using these bands, or when you're not, even if you're in your power position and you're stepping back, you're tapping your toe and back again, and doing this in a succession of 5, and then turning around and coming back. That builds your core stability. Doing things like sit-ups are great. Everybody knows the basic sit-up, but if you need more things to do as far as your abs are concerned, go ahead and get into a position, what we call a hollow rock. So you can, lift your legs 6 inches off the ground, and then bring your hands and bring them up and get into this hollow, almost like a banana type position with your body. You can hold that position, or you can rock up and back in that position. That's going to build your lower abdominals. Things as simple as bringing, if you have your hands not holding your neck up, or just back here, setting your hands back here behind your head, and bringing your legs, get into the camera, but bringing your legs up and back. Now, to make sure you get that lower abdominal to actually bring your rear end off the floor when you come up. If you can do that, sets of 30. The bicycle is another one for great lower obliques and lower abdominals. Bringing your elbow up, touching your elbow to your knee, making sure your knee comes up nice and high. You want that knee up high. Nice and slow down is another great core abdominal exercise. Like I say, sit-ups and crunches are good for that. You want to be able to mix these things in together. Planks for your core. Just getting into a push-up position with a nice flat back, okay? Arm shoulder width apart. Just holding this plank here is an excellent way to build your core. Or if this is too difficult in the push-up position, coming onto your lower arms. Trying to hold that plank position as long as you can for maybe a minute, okay? This is also a great thing to do when you're done with your exercise and you're just sitting here at the end, like a cool down, but you're still building your core. What we call a burpee, okay? Coming into your standing, if you can't do this fast, if you can't come up like this, if you can't do all that at once, it's too difficult, or it's hard on your body at first, then fine, it's okay. That's what we call a burpee, but do it slow. Come down into a squat. Put yourself into a push-up position if you can, or just basically on the floor. Come back up. Bring yourself up in this position if you have to, like this. Come into this position. Come into a standing crouch position, and then jump up and touch your hands. Just doing those kind of things over and over again builds cardiovascular strength, and it builds muscle strength, and it builds strength in your tendons and your ligaments. Basically doing an air squat, just coming down and squatting up. If you can only come down to here and it hurts, or it's beginning to hurt, or you can stand back up, then that's fine. Give yourself grace, but you got to start somewhere. And so if you put things together and say, okay, I'm going to do a workout regimen, and I'm going to do 5 rounds of this, and I'm going to do, let's just say 5 push-ups, hand shoulder width apart. If this is too difficult to be in this position, just put your knees on the ground, and that's fine. And just bring yourself down. A hand release push-up as you come up like this. Put your hands up and bring yourself back up. That's fine. But if I'm going to do 5 push-ups, and then after that, I'm going to do 5 air squats. And then after that, I'm gonna do 5 burpees. Just those 3 things together in a succession for 5 rounds. We do 5 of each of those exercises, 5 different times. That's gonna take you 7 to 8 minutes to do that. And it is going to really give you a great high intensity workout that will build your cardiovascular system, will give you the fitness, it will bring you to a fitness level that you're looking to do, or looking to get to. These plyometric type body weight exercises are excellent. I use them oftentimes. Things like a bear crawl, just coming into this position where my hands are shoulder width apart, and I'm using, and I'm just stepping forward with my things that we used to do in PE class, but I'm just stepping forward with my arms. And what I like to do is I like to make sure that I use opposite arm, opposite leg. So come up with my left arm, or my right arm, my left leg, and then left arm, right leg. And just doing this walk for 15 feet is a great way to build strength in your shoulders and in your arms, in your wrists. But the key is using small exercises like I've shown, putting them together in sets of 3 if that's all you can do, or sets of 5, or sets of 10, or maybe you do 30 of them. But bring each of those exercises together and pick 5 different plyometric type exercises, bring them together and do 3 rounds of them, or 4 or 5 rounds of them. I can tell you that will be an excellent training plan. There are so many of those different body weight exercises out there. You can Google them, and that you'll never run out of things to do. But they don't cost any money. They don't take any more space than, a 6 by 4 foot area, and you can get into the best shape of your life by doing those. But the key is making sure ultimately that your nutrition is right. Because if your nutrition's right, then getting into shape will be so much easier, the kind of shape that you're looking to get into. But I wish I had more time. The beautiful thing about Optavia is that you have access to so many different sources of information and so many different coaches that are more than willing to help you at any given time. And but if you have any questions, please ask your coach, or please ask the representative that has invited you today. And I wish you the best of luck, and I thank you for your time.